Hi everyone, my name is Andy Robertshaw. This is a greater than Killer Su Doku puzzle, number 27397. 27397. I'm on the Facebook group of these puzzles. Some people have started a discussion off about this, so I'm going to start from scratch and hopefully get us going. So, kind of thank you and apologies to people who have already made contributions. I know that some of you have already done a bit of this work, but this is what I've got to get us going anyway. So, starting with the very obvious, 3 there from 2 digits is 1 and 2. 24 is 7, 8 and 9 from 3 digits. It's the only way I can do that. 13s, 4, 9, 5, 8 or 6, 7. On this 13, this cell here, row 7, column 5, is touching all 3 of these. So I cannot have this cell equal to 7, 8 or 9. So this has to be the smaller number, the 4, the 5 or the 6. And this one in the centre box is the 7, 8 or 9. So next thing, I've got 2 14s here. Each has to be 5, 9 or 6, 8. However, I've got 2 different compositions. So if that one is 6 and 8, I could not have 6 or 8 there. So I'd have to have 5 or 9 there. So if I've got 6 and 8 there, that would be 5 and 9, or vice versa. If I've got 5 and 9 there, couldn't have 5 or 9 there, so I'd have to have 6 and 8. So I've got the 2 different compositions of 14 between those 2 cages. Now let's look at this 8. It's touching both the cells in this 14 and both the cells in this 14. So I could not have a 5 or a 6 as part of this 8. So 3 plus 5 is not possible, 2 plus 6 is not possible. That only leaves me 1 and 7 there. Okay, so what else have we got? The least I could have for these 3 cells are 3 plus 4 plus 5. So the most I could have for this one is 7. So I've got at least 12 there. I've got a maximum of 7 here. In fact, since I've already accounted for my 7 in the top 2 rows, so... Sorry, well, I mean row 7, row 8. The top 2 rows of this bottom section. So I need a 7 as one of those, and a 7 as one of those. So I can't have another 7 in this row or this row. So that one's not going to be a 7. Right. What else have I got? I'll put the candidates in for this 7, 1, 6, 2, 5 or 3, 4. But I'd like to have a look at these bottom cells in this bottom right-hand corner now. So could I have... In fact, I won't do that just yet. Let's have a look at this corner first. I've got 8 and 14 and 15. I've got 37 so far between those. That means that these two have to add up to 8 as well. I've got 2, 6 and 3, 5. So what could I have left for this 15? I've got 1 of 5 and 6 there. I've got 1 of 5 and 6 there. So no 5 6s or 1s or 7s, but I've got 1 of 8 and 9. I've got to have a number 4 there, and I've got to have 2 or 3. Okay, let's look now at... Let's come back to this bottom right-hand corner. So my next question is, could I... In fact, I'm going to go back on my word once again. I'm going to look at this cell first. Hopefully it'll make the next bit clear. Again, this one is touching all three of those, so I couldn't have 7, 8 or 9 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 in that one. Now this is very interesting. If I look at this row now, I've got a hidden pair of 8 and 9. So those two between them have to be 8 and 9. Making this one a 7. So row 8, column 6 is a 7. This is a 1 and this is a 7. I cannot have a 1 there, and I cannot have the 6 there that would have gone with it. So that in turn means that my 7 in this box has to be one of these three. Okay, let's see now. I've been threatening to get to this one for a while, but let's have a look now what happens. If I have a 1 in this bottom row, so I've got a 1 here, so obviously I can't have a 1 as either of those two cells. Could I have a 1 here? Well, then the most I could have is 10, 1 and 9. The lowest values I could put here are 2, 3, 4. So I can just about do that. However, I've got a 7 here. I've already got 1, 2 and 3 in the box if I do this. So that takes up all my options for this 7. So therefore I could not have a 1 here. So the 1 on this bottom row has to be one of these 3 cells. So let's go back. The 1 has to be one of those. It could not be that one. In fact, the 1 has to be one of these 2 on the top row of this box. Right, okay, so let's just fill in all the rest for now. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, not 1 or 7. My 1 has to be one of those. Right, so what's next then? I'll fill my 12 in here. In fact, I've got 32 there. So this plus this is 13. So it gives me 4, 5, 7 or 8 to make up the 13 with that. So that 12 is basically 4 and 8 or 5 and 7. So let's come back to this one. In fact, let's. I will get there eventually. Let's make another quick claim. Of these 13s, I've obviously got to have 2 different compositions of 13 between those 2 cages. I'm going to claim now that one of them is 4 and 9. So if that's not the case, I would have 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's just let those be 5, 6, 7, 8. It raises the question, what have I got here now? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 as candidates here. But I've got to be, so I'm maximum 10 there. I'm a maximum of 9 between the 2 of those. So I can't have 9 because I would need the 1 to go with it. I don't have 2 numbers there that add up to at least 8. So I'm stuck. So therefore, either this is 4 and 9 or this is 4 and 9. So let's go back. So no 4s or 9s in that one. Okay, so what's next? Yeah, so I will look at this now. I'm going to ask the question, can I get away without an 8 or a 9 here? This is a question I've been threatening to ask and answer. So, if not, I've got a maximum of 6 and 7. Let's just work with the maximum, because I've got an 8 or 9 in that box already. I also must have the other one of 8 or 9 here. So because these have to be less than this one, let's work with a maximum here as well. So, or let's work with a smaller value, I should say. So I must have an 8 there. But then I must have at least a 3 there. And I must have a 1 there. I can't have a 1 there, in fact. I've got to have at least a 2 there. So the lowest value I could have here is 238. It's 13 as well. So I come unstuck if I don't have an 8 or 9 there. So 8 or 9 as one of those, 8 or 9 as one of those. No 8s or 9s in the rest of the row. So maximum 7 between all of these. I've got my 7 in this box. I've got my 1 and 2 in this column. So this is, I believe, where the fun begins. So I've established that I must have a 1 in this row. What I'd like to do now is ask the question, what could this cell contain? So, with a 1 in that row, the most I could have is 1, 5 and 6. In fact, it isn't. I need a 5 or a 6 there. The most I could have is 1, 4 or 6. So 1 plus 4 plus 6 is 11. I need at least 5 then to get up to the minimum of 16. So let's remove 2 and 3 from this. So if I have a 5 or a 6 there, then I would need... I can't have a repeat of what I got in here. So if I've got 5 or 6 there, I would need 1, 4, 5, 6. That's the only way to get up to the 16 that I need to be greater than this 15. But then I'm left without a candidate for this cell. So that means my 5 or 6 there is impossible. Right, sorry, gone back too far there. So I removed 2 and 3 from there. I'm also removing 5 and 6 from that cell. Therefore, this cell must be an 8. And this tells us quite a lot. So no 8s and 5s between these 13s. I've also got a 9 there, an 8 there. In fact, I can't have an 8 there, which means my 8 must be part of this 14, and that this 14 must be 5 and 9. So this plus this is 13, so that's got to be 8 and 4. This 12 then is 8 and 4. Okay, well I will stop talking now. I will let you continue solving. So thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.